you're all fine, we'll get started. Are you
Go ahead.
good with that? Okay. The first thing that you have is, I would like to request to add a couple of jobs and also to re-evaluate one for the locators. And Melinda has re-evaluated, and I'll share where that ended up. So the first one is a mechanic helper. We currently have this position, we just don't have it filled. But we would like to change the pay. You can see the current pay is at 44% of lineman pay, which is $41,021. And we would like to increase it to 56%, which would be $52,000, which is kind of more comfortable to moving people around. If y'all are good with that.
That's switching to what now? I'm sorry.
I said that would be changing,
The mechanic helper?
yes,
From
yes,
44 to,
56% of lineman pay. Mm-hmm.
How do you come up, educate me,
Mm-hmm.
how do you come up with where it landed?
The
You said-
percentages?
Yeah, you said it was more in line with some stuff.
So the percentages were created many, probably 70 years ago. The percentages were set up when the electricity department begun. And then this one was very low. We have an apprentice mechanic. And so basically this is, the apprentice mechanic starts about 66% of lineman pay. And we wanted to make this a little more comfortable because this would be, they do a lot of the things that apprentices do. They just don't learn everything the apprentice does.
So the
It's not an
gap-
apprenticeship.
So the gap was 44 to 66.
Yes.
Yeah, 'cause I agree that
Mhm.
40, that, even that annual salary, especially that hourly salary for, you know, a trained
Yes.
mechanic is pretty
Yep.
pretty low.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
How long has the job been open?
It has been opened for probably 15 years. We've not filled a, or maybe 20 years. We haven't filled a mechanic helper position. Normally we do it with an apprenticeship. So it's been open for probably 15, 20 years.
And so, just some background, Mary, why this change, why now, and why are we pursuing it now?
Well, we're just looking at opportunities where we can place people. So this is our current fleet supervisor. Normally we have 2 part-time people that work for us, and this would take the place of one of the part-time people. This will be a full-time position.
And
He
then-
could use the extra help in the shop. We have about 183 pieces of equipment that we maintain. So, this person, we change all the oils in all the vehicles, and so this person can just help, with the day-to-day versus having a part-time.
Is there enough work for the full-time person?
Oh, yes, yes.
And then, have you done the market research on this? Is this what other, I need some, I understand how you
Mhm.
answered Jackie's
Mhm.
question, and I appreciate it, but
Mhm.
I think there's some market data, because we come back to the table and we look at this, so what's the market
Sure.
research telling us about this position?
Mm-hmm. We can do that. I'll be happy to share that with you. Mm-hmm. And I can also look at what the current, for the city also. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I assume we have mechanic helpers at the street department.
Probably. And we also have full-time mechanics also. So we have an apprenticeship program. Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many, and I know there's a mechanic at the fire department,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know what their pay scales are. Like, what is this graded?
Right. Well, see, this is on our electricity department pay scale.
Mhm.
So it's not on a, normal city pay scale. Is that all different departments have different pay scales internally, and this is on one of our internal pay scales. Does that make sense? So it doesn't have steps. So like this is the pay, and this will be the pay forever, unless we get a cost of living increase.
Right.
The difference with the fire department is, the future, that's gonna be through our city garage. So that will go to be transferred.
Right, it'll all go under the same umbrella. And so that's not an option for you.
No, we have too many vehicles of our own to maintain.
And
Mm-hmm.
what most of y'all's are, I would say diesel, bigger ones.
All of our bigger trucks are diesel, and then we have all of our pickups too. So
Yeah,
So it's
toured-
about 183 vehicles. Did you go by there yesterday?
I toured the shop yesterday, was very impressed, and,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, there's a lot that goes on in there. Everything from the largest piece of equipment y'all have all the way down to your chainsaws.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's no small affair.
It's no
I'll
small
say.
affair.
It's a very large operation.
Very, very true. Very, very true. So the next position is an apprentice groundman, and we just haven't done away with this position. It's just not currently in our budget this year. So I'm asking to add this position to our budget. So we have in the past had lots of apprentice groundmen, and I guess the last one retired about a year and a half ago. And we didn't replace them, so we're asking for this to be added back to our budget. Any questions about that one? But we are gonna make it a little different than it was before. We're gonna make it a more technical job, where they're gonna help more meter reading, AMI. We're gonna add some duties to the position compared to what it used to be.
So is that what the first period, second period, is that what all that is?
Yeah,
Goes
those are
with
their
that job?
steps.
So every 6 months it's a step up.
And the beginning is at 50.
and it's a three, it's like 1, 2, 3.5 year
Yes,
to top out. And then that stays except for COLA.
yes. We used to have one of these in each of our crews, and we kind of have moved towards hiring linemen in their place because it's, they can do more for us. But
So, yeah, so then why do we need this now?
so this is, we really need someone we assist with AMI project. And so once we get all the meters set, which is coming really soon, we're gonna need someone, when the meters show up, they've gotta test a certain percent of them. And then they can help Thomas go in and do an evaluations when we have issues. And so they don't need to be a full-fledged lineman, but we need someone that's very qualified that we can train more on the technical side that can help with all of like the meter testing, the meter, not really change out, but going and evaluating whatever issues we have with the meter, so.
And so, is there somebody who will be shifting out through attrition as far as meter readers goes who would be qualified for this?
Very possible,
That was gonna be my
Yes.
question.
I mean, that's part of the process we're working on right now,
So this is one of those roles that a meter reader could assume.
as well as the locators.
and with the mechanic helper also.
Okay, okay, good, you read my mind.
Yes.
Yeah, I was working, we had talked about that when the AMI,
That's
Mhm.
what we,
Perfect.
that's what we was working on.
that no one would lose their job. They
Right.
just moved to something else. So that opens that up.
Do you have you heard of interest from them? Do you know if this is something?
Sandy is meeting, she's actually meeting with her group. We sat down and talked about 3 or 4 steps, and she's meeting with them to kind of explain to them where we're going.
So they don't know any of this?
No,
Okay,
I mean, they're actually looking at I don't want to get too deep in it, but they're looking at a hybrid position with the meter reader and some way they're working with,
For gas and water,
Yeah.
because they're still gonna have to retain meter readers.
but with the understanding that down the road, say 24 months or, Ted may be looking at the same AMI stuff too, so.
Is this multiple positions or one? It says ground men.
It's just one position,
Okay.
is what I'm requesting.
and one mechanic helper.
And one mechanic helper. And you've already, approved the locators. And the next position, we've already talked about this, but I will share with you, and you've already approved this, but I'll share with you, just in case you have forgotten. We had to have one job reevaluated one of our existing role as warehouse service coordinator. She's gonna be responsible for all the 811 side and the software, so she's got a lot of duties added to her for the locating service. And so Melinda's group reevaluated her position, and we're changing her job title to electricity operations coordinator, and she went from a grade 9 to a grade 10. So it's about a $3,000 increase, about $2,500 increase. And so I just wanted to share that and make sure you were good moving forward with that.
Will she have to reapply for that?
No, she will not. But she will handle all the 811 side. She'll be assigning the locates to the locators. She'll be moving them around as needed. And to begin with, you know, she's already been working on, you know, getting all the software set up and interacting with it. It's been an
So-
interesting process.
So as I understand, the location is gonna be done just for our city. It's not gonna cover, I think you may have said that other night.
So it will be for the electricity department, gas department, water department, sewer department, and city storm sewer. So we will only locate those facilities inside, you know,
But AT&T, Comcast, any of that will not.
correct. They have their own separate location.
And I guess that my concern about that, Mary, and I think I expressed that, is in my particular situation with my daughter's house, when it all shook out, you know, the folks did their, but they didn't get the fiber. So they ended up cutting the fiber too, and they fixed part of mine, and then next thing you know, they'd crushed my water meter. They'd made a great big mess, and my concern is all that being close together. And though, I think the last thing you said was they'll have to wait. So if they have to wait, do we have any, I mean, I know a lot of your stuff doesn't have anything to do with that, but how long's the wait?
So it's
for
a
those other-
requirement. So according to Alabama 811 laws, once you submit a locate, we put in thousands a month for just the electricity department. And you have 48 hours to respond. So that's a requirement from the state of Alabama. They have to respond within 48 hours.
But y'all be able to get yours done.
Within the 48 hours, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's a state law. So, you know, the other entities, I mean, we deal with that now, like Spire has their own locator, you know, and West Lauderdale Water has their own locator. I mean, we deal with like 6 different water departments in the county. We deal with another gas department, and we deal with AT&T. We deal with Alabama Fiber. We deal with, you know, and they just all, you know, have their own entity that locates for them.
Speaking of that, did I miss the email? You know, we approved some updates regarding locators and the pole attachments and all that. Did I miss the email that told us just how many we have and all that good
The
stuff?
locators?
Yes, ma'am.
No, I didn't send that out, but I will be happy to. The
If you
number.
would. That's a question that comes up with a varying level of frequency.
Number of attachees.
Yeah, number of attachees
Yeah,
and
off the top of your head, Lou. Lou handles all of our attachees, but
Are you talking about the number of companies that are doing that? Or
yeah,
that attached to our poles.
yeah.
like Crown Castle and
Yeah, that question comes up because people, there's a disconnect between what's ours and what belongs to a private entity. So it's very helpful to know so that, you know, we can just get people the help that they need. Like, hey, I'm so sorry, it's not us, it's Comcast or it's AT&T. And that helps facilitate some of that for people's questions.
Right now, I feel like there's about 8 different
Maybe, yeah.
companies that we have, but I'll send you a list.
so is the last one Alabama Fiber?
Thank you, Lou. Appreciate it.
Yeah, Lou does all that. So she's the one that does the billing. The positive thing with that contract you just approved, Osmos, is part of that contract, they are going to list all the attachees in order they're attached to the pole. So we'll have all that data inside our GIS system. So any location that we have questions, we can pull it up.
You mentioned
and have
that when we approved it. And I think
It'll be
that's a real
great.
bonus of that.
Yes.
And we can reconcile against our billing,
Yes.
so to make sure that it's
Correct.
where it's supposed to be.
Well, and they're up to date
Yes.
Right.
in all ways, shapes, and forms.
Yes.
All right,
Yes.
now, talking about that, all right, like, for instance, Crown Castle. And I think they had to have a list of where they were gonna put those with the building department.
They had to get permits.
So how do y'all communicate with them? Because, for instance, one day they were cutting limbs out here, and they got one right beside this building. And Gary said, well, I didn't know that. Who knew that? I mean, they were cutting our trees.
I don't know, we
And
just
they're
get
gonna-
power applications, or we get pole attachment applications, and we work the applications, but now we don't, that's on the city building department to deal with the permitting of it, so that would be something they'd have to do up front.
But there's no interaction with y'all.
Well, no, we interact with them all the time, but just for us getting power to them, you know what I mean? We're not interacting with anything, like we're not even approving the location of their,
Those are those 5G
cell.
phones, right, that we're talking
The
about?
5G towers, so we don't even approve that, that's approved by the city.
So how did those differ? You know, we, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we took some action with a resolution.
To
But-
approve how they were installed and what they had to look like.
And we had a certain amount of time, or the state would have taken that.
Mhm.
So, did that out there fit within?
It did for us, but like I said, I don't know on the planning department
No,
side.
but in that case,
Yes,
they would had to, if we had this in place, and their planning, they would have had to fit within that.
they did. Yes, they had to make applications, follow our processes, submit all the information to us, and for our side. And there's some places that they're attached to our poles, and so that's a separate fee. You know what I mean? Different additional application where they're attached to our poles. So. So are you good with the other two moving forward with those? Like I said, you've already approved the changing of the job steps, having her job reevaluated. This is just, I wanted to share with you where it landed and make sure you're still good moving forward with that.
Oh, I had one other question about the groundman. I had forgotten it. Do we have any more of those, or is this the only one we'll have?
This is the only one we will have right now, unless we see that we will need another one. But this is currently the only one we're gonna add to the budget.
So we just adding this one to the budget.
Yes, we're looking at just adding these two positions and then agreeing on the increase in the step.
So this will be a mid-year budget change?
Yes, so when we do our addendum to the budget in October,
When we do
these will be added
when we do
to
the
it.
general fund and do that? Okay.
Mhm.
Making sure I'm following it.
Yes, yes. And it will be a wash with doing away with the locators money-wise.
Mhm.
It will not add any money to our budget. It'll actually decrease a little bit.
Any questions?
I don't think so.
So you wanna hold off on mechanic, or are you fine moving forward with the mechanic, they giving you the data, or where do you want to stand with that?
I feel like I'm okay moving forward with it, but
I'll be happy to share that.
I do think we as a committee need to know
Mhm.
that. Those
Sure.
market studies are really helpful to us
Mhm.
as we think through jobs and
Mhm.
how they can come online with us and all that stuff. And if they are where they need to be, so that we're not constantly coming back to the table and looking and reviewing at something that we should have thought about from the beginning.
Correct.
So-
We have a couple of salary surveys. We have a recent one through Electric City, so I'll compare that salary survey and see what that shows, if they have a mechanic on there or not. And we also get a TVPPA one, it's a year old, but I can look at it from a year
So
ago.
we're comparing to peers, not the
Correct.
complete private, because, yeah, peers would have similar benefits. Yeah, okay.
So you're good moving forward, but I will get that data for you.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel okay with that.
Okay.
If you've presented it to us in this way, I feel like you have done this research. So share that with us so that we
I will
have
be
the
happy
same
to.
level of knowledge that you have.
And Melinda's fully aware.
Mhm.
Be great.
Yeah, she and I we worked on that together, on that number.
For the mechanic.
For the mechanic.
Okay.
Yes. And then she evaluated, obviously, the bottom one too.
Right, yeah, that was the step grade up.
Yes.
So we won't wait to get that, or we won't get?
No, since it's been kind of vetted through Melinda and Mary, I'm okay to let it move forward with knowing that that's gonna come to us as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll vote on that.
Yeah, I'll make the motion that we approve these 3 roles, for the utility, department moving forward at the mid-year budget cycle.
Yes.
Second. All right. Second, all in favor?
Now, we will add these to the budget when we amend the budget, but we are gonna move forward with these, and you're good with that?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Okay, next thing is where our building got damaged from one of the storms in the spring. You know, we tore the damaged part down, and we have been trying very diligently to get some prices to have it repaired. Where we tore the part down that was damaged the roof where it left part of it open. It needs some rafters brought in and sealed back up again. So this is the proposal for that. And the amount of $28,678.
Did you get other proposals?
This is the only person we could get to give us a proposal. We have probably asked 6 different people over the last 3 months. And it is very unfortunate, but we have tried very hard to get more proposals.
Have you ever worked with this company before?
We have not, but we were recommended this company from, I think, the fire department and a couple other departments in the city have used them for different things.
The fire department used them for their, Station 2. Yeah.
So that's, when we couldn't get anyone to respond, we reached out to different people, and this
Is
is,
that for the roof?
this is one person.
Yeah, when they had all that damage.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So, and it
So
lists
we
kind of
reached
what they're
out to
doing.
them.
We did.
Okay.
Yeah, we actually reached out, like I said, to about 6 people, and this is the only one that, a couple of them said it was too big of a project for them. And these were the only people that came back with a proposal.
And what part of your budget will this come from?
This will just be in our facilities part of our budget. We put money in it every year because we just don't ever know what may happen to any of our facilities, so.
And there's, I'm assuming, $28,678 in it.
Yes. Normally we put a couple $100,000 in each budget, so. Yeah, and we put money in our facilities budget, you know, to repair and paint some of our buildings and fix some of the roofs, and that's, you know, in our budget, so.
Does this give any upgrades to the building that might have been needed prior to this damage? Or is it simply returning it to the way it was initially?
It's returned, so the building was bigger, one side of it broke, you know, was torn down.
Yeah,
And so this is basically just sealing up the part that's still existing. And we had a structural engineer come and look at the building. We were hoping maybe we could just repair it, but after they came, they said it was not repairable, so that side of it.
So basically you're repairing it, but it'll be a little smaller.
It'd be a little small.
So we have to bring this,
yeah.
we need to bring this to, if y'all approve it, to the finance meeting too.
No, it just goes straight to the full council,
Okay.
We do need to vote on it though.
but you have to vote on it.
Is there a motion?
Yeah. Answered all my questions.
Yeah,
Is there a motion?
yes,
You,
I'll motion.
Second.
all in favor? Okay,
Okay.
we'll move forward on that one.
The last thing that we have is kind of our yearly evaluation of where we are financially, doing rate increases, not rate increases. So TVA, as you know, gives us a recommended increase every year. And this year, you can see the letter that I gave you, it's $9,583. So we, obviously are not gonna do that all in one year as we did last year. And we are trying to do small steps at a time. So we sent to TVA an increase of $3 customer charge across the board. And we sent them to add 9/1,000ths of a cent to our rates. So the next document you have is actually the letter from TVA with the new resale rate schedule. And you can see, going to page 3, where it lists what our proposed rate schedule is. So it went from $21.96 a month to now it's gonna, with, approval, go to $24.96 per month for customer charge. And then the kilowatt hour charge was 7.830 and we're asking to go to 7.839.
Now, this is something TVA has to,
TVA has approved, and they have approved, and so now I'm bringing it to you to move forward with
This
the
has
council vote.
absolutely nothing to do with the general fund.
Correct. This is all from this all will be electricity funds. Mm-hmm. Correct.
But how much choice does the city of Florence and your utility department have in this matter?
Well, the reason TVA does this is because they monitor every month. We send TVA, we're required, they're our regulator. We send them a financial report every month. And so they take the financial reports and we have to send them a year-end financial report. And they look at how our money's spent, where it goes to, how much we spend in operations, maintenance, so forth. And so once they evaluate that, right now their biggest issue is we're not doing enough maintenance on our system. And so that's the reason for they're telling us we need to put $9 million more a month in a year in maintenance. And so that's what they see after looking at our numbers compared to everybody else's that we need to be
So
spending.
what counts with that? I mean, like the substation that you just redid across from the ag.
Replacing poles.
What about the substation you're gonna build at
Mm-hmm.
Rochdale?
That's all. That's all, and they get a copy of our budget, so I mean they know what's in our budget,
And the
and our
one that
capital
you're, I think
plans.
your next was in Center Star, is that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So Northwood,
Norwood.
Norwood,
Mhm.
yeah.
But we're a very large system, and what they base it on is our average revenues for the year, and this is what this is based on. Based on the amount of revenue that we bring in, this is how much maintenance you need to do on your system. And that's where these numbers come from. And so, and in our budget, we currently show, pulling $4 million out of cash to cover our current budget. And so, this will total to about 2.8 million. So we will still have to pull some out of cash in order to cover our budget if everything is done inside this budget year. So, I mean, for us to be reliable to our customers, we gotta do maintenance, and we're gonna have to have some gradual increases, and that's just the only way we can have more money coming in as a department to do these things.
no, when we passed your budget, I remember when reading it in advance that we were pulling a lot of money out of cash, and that your net went from like 3.5 to 2.2, or it was very close.
Very, very low.
And we talked about it couldn't continue to trend that way, and eventually we would deplete all of our reserves.
Very true.
So how many rate increases have we absorbed without increasing our rates ourselves from TVA?
So that's a pass-through. They automatically.
So we don't eat those?
Correct.
Okay, so it's just operating costs that has trended
Has
that,
trended up.
that net down.
For instance, substation transformers. We ordered substation transformers 2 years ago for the 3 transformers we ordered last year. They were right at $800,000. We priced some about 6 months ago. They were $1.2 million. I mean, that's just how much
They
inflation.
were 800,000 in 22.
Yes.
how
And
much
they've
they've
gone
gone
up 400, 500,000, and just the inflation of the amount that we're paying for materials.
If you can even get them.
If you can even get them. And then we have a 2-year lead time on them all.
Yeah.
You're exactly right, Blake.
Well,
It's
one of the
just-
biggest concerns that I receive is, as you know, about power outages. And we've talked about it, and it's, that's what this is partially addressing.
Yes.
And yeah.
Yes, and we actually added to this budget, with you're aware of, about $1.5 million, $500,000 to go towards tree trimming to widen some right of ways, and then $1 million to start on a big bad pole replacement. And we're starting obviously on our transmission side, and so but it costs money to do all that,
I think the
so-
pole replacement is a huge component of it because, we got, is it 67,000 wooden?
65,000.
65,000 poles and many of them are past their replacement date. So what I've observed when I've gone out to these sites is that it's not a pole that breaks, but it breaks the additional poles on the line. And so instead of a one pole replacement and getting the power right back up, we're replacing multiple poles, which just delays the outage by, unnecessarily by a long time.
Yes,
Okay.
and that's when, the lifespan of a pole is about 35 years.
I'm
And
sorry, I
so-
cannot hear you.
Okay. Well, let him get off the phone first. So a lifespan of a pole is about 35 years, and that's what we said, based on that, we really should be placing about 1,200, 1,600 poles a year. And so we don't
And we're
do
nowhere
that.
near that.
No, and this $1 million that we put in this year's budget, we are hopefully gonna get about 130 out of that.
Yeah, I mean, still
So,
so low.
it's so low. And if
10% of what we should be.
Yes, and so if you think about it, if we were replacing that number, that's where we'd be with TVA's numbers. You know what I mean? If we were doing what we should be doing.
No, I've been preaching, we've got to put more into preventive
We do.
maintenance. And I'm glad to see we are, but it doesn't come
Doesn't come
for
at no
free.
expense.
Right.
And we're trying to do it slowly, like we're trying to
Right.
not make it such a big impact on our customers. And I will share this too, and I didn't share this piece of paper with you, but I will if you would like for me to. So our average customer uses roughly about 1,000 kilowatt hours a month. And so for our average customer, this will be roughly a 2.4% increase in their bill.
How much?
About a 2.4 increase.
When
me
was,
ask you-
when was the last increase?
We had one last year, but we haven't had one since 18. We had one in 18. We had one last year, and then last year we decided we want to do some small steps moving forward, and so which I think is a great plan. And so that's what our kind of a plan was, making small steps.
What additional resources, if any, can we provide to people who are lower income or on fixed incomes to ensure that this is not difficult for them?
So this is the best programs we have. TVA and
Are we adding to them, Mary?
We are. So TVA and us have a program it's called Home Uplift Program. And it actually,
what?
Home
Home
Uplift Program, and you can apply for the program, and they will come into your house and do about $8,000 to $10,000 worth of energy saving upgrades. They'll insulate your house, they'll replace windows, they'll replace your unit. It's a wonderful program, and we have so many people constantly signing up for it. And TVA also offers, a lot of energy programs that they can come in and evaluate, where maybe you have issues in your house.
Yeah,
And so, I would encourage people, and we'll be happy to share that. Zoe handles that. I'll get her to reshare that on our social media.
I think that would be really helpful.
And that's at no cost for the customer too.
Absolutely. You've mentioned that in the past, but I think it's helpful to always remind folks that there are ways and opportunities and programs to help.
Yes.
Because this will be seen as a punitive
It will.
cost
Mhm.
because it feels that way. It feels that way to somebody who has no additional money coming in. And it's hard to understand why, TVA would do this. And I get it. Those are not easy pathways. So I just want to make sure that we are including and providing as many opportunities as possible for individuals who otherwise won't have that help.
I agree.
So is that
Yes,
on
we'll be
the,
happy
is that
to
on
share.
our website now?
It is on our website now.
Where do you find it?
And it's if you go to our website, we have like an energy part of our website, and it's under the energy part of our website.
And you'll share it on your social
Yeah,
media.
but we'll
I think
share it on
that's what
social
I'm
media.
asking you to do, and make sure it's something that people have have really good help for that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, and it's just an application they fill out, and they have to, show us they own the home, and literally TVA will come out and do an evaluation and pick what they think's best needed to help with their, power usage. And so, like I said, it's a really good program. So,
Okay.
mm-hmm.
And good updates on that
Mm-hmm.
would be helpful,
Yes.
just for people to know. Again,
Mhm.
almost quarterly, especially as we get into winter and questions about that. That's a hard time.
It is.
I don't want anybody choosing between heating their home and their medicine.
I agree.
Right.
I agree.
And groceries.
I agree
Yeah.
completely. Yeah, but we're looking, like I said, on the average bill, like I said, about $3. Obviously $3, but the kilowatt hours isn't going to add much to their bill because it's just 1/1000th of a cent that we're adding to the kilowatt hour charge. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So y'all will approve that and that will come to,
If you are good to move that forward, that will go to full
Full
council,
council.
the next council meeting.
For
Mhm.
the
So
full
that-
council to decide on the rate increase,
Mhm.
not just Bobby.
Like I said, this is a yearly, you know, and I think it's just easier on our customers if it's a yearly thing
Well,
that's small
what-
at a
Right,
time.
that's what we talked about last year, so, I mean, the whole thing was,
It's nothing we wanna do.
right, it was, so we decided to do smaller increments.
Mhm.
Well, I think we have, I mean, we, as a committee, we have an obligation to send it to the full council to review. So I'll make the motion that we do that.
All right,
I'll second that.
all in favor?
And that's all I have today.
I got one thing I want to mention, just to let you know, I don't think I was fully aware of this, but Brad Holmes has asked me twice. I kind of shuffled him off for a while. As you know, I think they have 82 sirens across the county. And he was fussing a little bit because electricity department was gonna charge them. I think they have to disconnect and reconnect. And in the past, I think it's something was called life and safety, and they didn't have to pay the deposit. Well, now they're having to pay a $1,050 deposit.
Per
Well-
siren?
What they have is, we used to, long time ago, it's probably been 20 years, we didn't require, this was a TVA, changed this. We didn't have to require churches, schools, we didn't have to put a deposit up ourselves, or any, you know, county, whatever, didn't have to put deposits up. Well, about 20 years ago, TVA changed that, and we ourselves have to put a deposit up for our own services. So, everyone has to be treated the same. And so now anyone who makes application, they have to be treated equally amongst all of our customers.
And
And
that's-
so that's a TVA rule that we can't bypass.
And that's what I told him today. He's gonna take it back to the county because they're gonna have to fess up, so.
Is it per siren?
Right now, they have 3. They're in the works, so it's not,
They're updating their sirens and they're replacing all the services, and some of them they're moving some and they're putting some new ones in, and so it's a big project that they're doing. And
so
it's-
like one's been there a long time, they hadn't had to do that, so as they come due.
they're having to put a deposit up.
So is it a deposit plus a disconnect, reconnect?
Yes.
Okay. Which is
And then
only
the-
about $100 for that, right?
It is, well, it's just an application fee, which is $30, so. And then, but the ones that require, some of them are requiring us to build lines to them, and that's an additional cost. The ones that we're having to hang transformers to build
Oh,
lines to.
because they're new
Mhm,
locations.
The new locations. Yeah.
So if anybody asks you a question, you're now.
Informed.
Yeah.
Well, thank you
Anything
all.
else? That's it?
That is it. That's all I got
Oh,
today.
when will the work on your building begin? I know we have to go through
Mhm.
council on it, but have they said?
I have not heard that.
Okay.
Yes. I'll
What I-
ask Kenny.
We
Mhm.
keep having to get these things and where we come back like we had to do just yesterday because, all of a sudden they can't stay. Please keep us updated on
I will be
that.
happy to.
Because who can say?
Mhm.
But I don't want us to have to come back for another meeting.
In addition to that, can we also find out how long that number is good?
We can
If
do
there's an
that.
expiration date on
Yeah,
that
we
number,
need to
we
know
need
that
to
as
know.
well for this very reason.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we plan on immediately, as soon as it's approved, we plan on moving forward with it, but it might actually say, because I know our
I
invoice is
didn't
actually.
see that in there, but I might have overlooked it. Mary, you might have, because it was dated August 28th, but I didn't know if it lasted for like 6 weeks or if
It
they were
doesn't
like,
say. but
yeah.
I will
so-
verify that, and I will have them put that in writing back to you.
I just know
Yeah.
so with
Mhm.
prices are so volatile right now.
I agree.
People aren't holding their prices as long as
Well,
they used
and
to.
I mean-
And ours are only good for 60 days when we give somebody a price, so I
So I
understand.
just, I'd like to protect that whole process if we
Yeah.
at all can, please.
Mhm.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Are any of y'all on the public safety?
I am.
Thank
I
you.
just got a message.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Y'all
Have a good weekend.
weekend.
Bill's canceled,
Oh, it's canceled?
but that's why